Have you ever tried to control the ocean with your bare hands? Have you ever tried to hold the wind inside a glass jar? Impossible, is it not? That is exactly what happens when someone believes they can manipulate a Pisces. What looks soft, fragile, and endlessly giving is in truth the most untouchable and mysterious energy of the zodiac. Tonight, you will discover 20 sacred reasons why Pisces cannot be controlled, why their essence remains free, and why their soul is eternally guided by forces greater than any human intention. Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the more secrets you will uncover, and the final revelation may transform the way you see not only Pisces but yourself. Pisces is not just another sign. Pisces is the 12th chapter, the closing of the zodiacal circle, the one that carries within its waters the wisdom of all that came before. They are the dreamers, the visionaries, the ones who live with one foot in this world and the other in the unseen. To look into the eyes of a Pisces is to witness the reflection of countless souls, countless lifetimes, countless truths hidden beneath the surface of ordinary life. And it is for this reason that no trick, no scheme, no shadow can bind them. They feel, they sense, they know before words are even spoken. From the very beginning of creation, water has always been the element that could not be captured. It slips through fingers, it changes shape, it takes the form of its container yet always remains itself. This is the essence of Pisces. Those who attempt to control them find themselves frustrated, because what is fluid cannot be chained, what is infinite cannot be reduced, and what is divine cannot be owned. Pisces is the eternal tide, the endless wave, the current that shapes and dissolves without asking for permission. But there is more. The soul of Pisces is not only fluid, it is luminous. Behind every gentle gesture, behind every moment of compassion, there is an inner strength that vibrates beyond human understanding. This strength does not shout, it does not need to prove itself. Instead, it radiates like a shield of light, a silent power that makes any attempt at manipulation dissolve before it even begins. What looks like vulnerability is in fact divine resilience. And this resilience is precisely what has protected Pisces across ages, across battles of the heart, and across the illusions of the world. As you listen, allow yourself to feel this truth within your own life. Have you ever sensed that invisible armor around you, the one built not by force but by faith, not by aggression but by spirit? If so, write in the comments below, "I recognize my strength." Let this be your affirmation, your declaration that just like Pisces, you too cannot be manipulated, because you too are connected para the infinite. Reason 1. They feel before you speak. A Pisces does not need to wait for words to be formed in your mouth. Their spirit reads the unspoken. Their heart catches what lingers in the air before any sentence finds its sound. Imagine walking into a room and sensing a mood before anyone says a thing. That is the everyday experience of a Pisces. They are finely tuned instruments, vibrating para the hidden music of emotion. When someone tries to weave lies, Pisces already feels the shift, like a sudden chill in a warm breeze. You cannot manipulate what sees beyond words, because the truth is already alive inside them before you even attempt the trick. Reason 2. Masters of illusion. It is easy to believe that Pisces can be fooled, because they live with imagination flowing like a river through their veins. Yet it is precisely this relationship with dreams and visions that makes them immune to illusion. They are the magicians of perception, bending reality in their own way, creating worlds of possibility in their minds. When someone tries to craft a false story, Pisces can see the threads unravel because they themselves are experts at weaving images and dissolving them again. The manipulator steps into a game Pisces already knows how to play, and in that game Pisces always holds the upper hand. Reason 3. They see through masks. Masks may work para the ordinary eye, but not para the vision of Pisces. Their gaze is not limited to the physical, it goes deeper, piercing through to the soul behind the mask. You may wear a smile, you may speak gentle words, you may act like a friend, yet a Pisces will see the flicker of dishonesty beneath it all. They notice the tiny pauses, the tone that does not match the words, the energy that betrays the intention. It is not logical calculation, it is pure soul vision. And when they see through the mask, they do not need confrontation. Their knowing alone is the quiet defeat of manipulation. Reason 4. Boundless empathy. Yes, they feel deeply. And yes, sometimes the world mistakes this as a weakness. But empathy para a Pisces is not a flaw, it is a compass. Their heart expands so wide that it recognizes the edges of deception. They may feel sadness, they may feel pain, but through that sensitivity they gain knowledge others cannot touch. A manipulator believes that compassion can be used para their advantage, but what they forget is that Pisces does not confuse kindness with blindness. Their empathy does not make them gullible, it makes them aware, and that awareness becomes their silent guardian. Reason 5. Their spirit belongs to the infinite. Pisces walks on earth, but their essence belongs para the ocean of the infinite. Their loyalty is not chained to fleeting desires or human games of power. They are tied, para the greater whole, para the divine mystery that flows above and beneath all things. To attempt to control a Pisces is like trying to control the tide of the sea or the pull of the moon. They belong para the eternal rhythm of the cosmos, and no human will can overrule what is destined. Their spirit answers para the infinite, and it is that sacred allegiance that makes them forever untouchable by manipulation. Reason 6. The power of silence. There is something extraordinary about the silence of a Pisces. It is not an empty silence, it is a living one, filled with wisdom and mystery. When others expect confrontation, Pisces often retreats into stillness, and this stillness itself becomes a wall stronger than steel. Manipulators crave reaction. They need a response to feed their schemes. But when Pisces chooses silence, the manipulator finds nothing to hold on to. In that quiet, Pisces regains clarity, reconnects with spirit, and rises above the attempt to control. Silence para them is not weakness, it is sacred strength. Reason 7. Forgiveness, not forgetfulness. Pisces carries a heart capable of forgiveness that stretches further than most can understand. They forgive because they know bitterness poisons the soul, but do not mistake forgiveness for forgetfulness. A Pisces remembers every wound, every betrayal, every moment of dishonesty. They may smile, they may embrace, they may even continue with grace, but deep within their spirit they know who tried to deceive them. This memory becomes a map, guiding them away from manipulation in the future. So while a manipulator may believe they have escaped consequences, Pisces already holds the lesson and carries it forward. Reason 8. The ocean of options. Pisces never lives trapped by one path, one plan, or one perspective. Their minds and hearts expand like the ocean itself, infinite and flowing with countless possibilities. This is why no manipulator can corner them. Even when it appears there are no exits, Pisces already sees other doors, other routes, and other ways to move forward. They are fluid, shifting directions when needed, never locked into the traps someone else tries to set. Just as the sea can erode rock, can carve new paths, Pisces creates choices where none seem to exist, leaving manipulators powerless. Reason 9. Dreams as warnings. For Pisces, dreams are not just fleeting images of the night. Their dreams are oracles, whispers from the universe, warnings carried from the unseen into the waking world. Many times they receive the hint of a deception before it arrives, a sense of what is coming through symbols and visions. Manipulators cannot enter that sacred space of dreaming. and so they cannot hide their intentions from Pisces. The dream state becomes a shield, a prophetic guide that helps them discern what is real and what is false long before the truth reveals itself in daylight. Reason 10. They carry ancient wisdom. Pisces is the 12th sign, the completion of the zodiacal wheel, and with this position comes a wisdom that feels timeless. They carry within them fragments of all the signs, an echo of every lesson, every trial, every triumph. When faced with manipulation, this ancient wisdom awakens. They may appear naive, but their soul remembers more than this lifetime. They know the patterns, they recognize the traps, they have walked through these illusions in countless forms before. A manipulator may underestimate them, but Pisces holds the weight of ages in their spirit, and that weight protects them from being controlled. Reason 11. Compassion as shield. Many see compassion as a door left open, a soft place where harm can enter. But para Pisces, compassion is not weakness, it is a sacred shield. When they extend kindness, it is not because they are blind, it is because they understand the weight of pain and the healing power of love. A manipulator may believe they can use that kindness para their advantage, but what they meet instead is a radiance so pure it dissolves the darkness of their intent. Compassion para Pisces is not an invitation for control. It is the very light that makes deceit impossible to thrive. Reason 12. They understand pain. Pisces does not walk through life untouched. They know what it means to be broken. They have felt the sting of betrayal, and they have carried sorrow like a heavy stone in the heart. But it is this very familiarity with pain that protects them from manipulation. They recognize the signs, they see the patterns, they understand the tricks because they have lived through them. What was once suffering transforms into wisdom, and that wisdom becomes their armor. A manipulator cannot surprise a Pisces with cruelty, because Pisces has already stared into the depths of darkness and returned with pearls of strength. Reason 13. Energy readers. Words can be dressed up in sweet tones, but energy never lies. Pisces is attuned para the unseen currents that flow beneath every interaction. They feel when someone enters a room with heavy intent, they sense when the atmosphere shifts, they recognize when something is off even if nothing is said. This ability to read energy makes manipulation powerless, because while words may hide, the vibration cannot. Pisces listens para what is unspoken, para what is transmitted soul to soul, and it is there that they discern the truth. No manipulator can disguise what their energy reveals. Reason 14. They flow with change. Rigid people are easy para control because they can be predicted, but Pisces is water. They flow, they adapt, they transform in response para every wave that comes their way. When manipulation tries to corner them, Pisces simply shifts direction, slipping out of the grasp without resistance. They understand that change is not the enemy but the very rhythm of life, and so they dance with it gracefully. To control them is to attempt to capture the tide in a closed hand, but the tide always finds its way back para the ocean. Their adaptability keeps them forever, beyond the reach of control. Reason 15. Boundaries of spirit. On the surface, Pisces may appear endlessly open, saying yes para many, embracing the world with wide arms. But the truth is deeper. Their soul carries boundaries that cannot be crossed, invisible lines drawn not on paper but within spirit. They may smile, they may offer help, but their energy knows when it is time to withdraw, when it is time to protect, when it is time to close the door. These sacred boundaries may not always be visible para others, but they are powerful and unshakable. A manipulator may think they have entered, but the spirit of Pisces has already decided where the limit stands. Reason 16. The mirror effect. When you look at a Pisces, you are not simply seeing them, you are often seeing yourself reflected back. This is the mirror effect they carry so naturally. If someone approaches them with love, that love is magnified and returned. If someone approaches them with deceit, that deceit is shown back in its rawest form. Manipulators find themselves unsettled because their hidden intentions suddenly become visible through the presence of Pisces. It is not confrontation, it is reflection, and in that reflection the manipulator is forced to face their own truth. Pisces does not need to expose them loudly. Their very energy reveals it all. Reason 17. Sacred escape. Pisces always has a secret passage, an invisible door that no one else can see. It is not made of walls and locks. It is made of imagination, faith, and spiritual intuition. When life becomes heavy, when manipulation tries to trap them, Pisces slips into this sacred escape where no one can follow. There they reconnect with their inner compass, they gather their strength, and they return renewed. A manipulator may believe they have Pisces cornered, but in reality, Pisces is already elsewhere, free and untouchable, existing beyond the reach of control. Reason 18. The higher calling. Pisces does not live only para the earthly world. Their spirit is guided by a higher calling, a whisper from the divine that shapes their steps. When faced with manipulation, they align themselves with this higher voice, which cannot be silenced by human intent. Destiny itself becomes their protection, and they are lifted above the games of control. This connection with the higher realm means that no matter how carefully a manipulator plans, Pisces is already walking a path guarded by something far greater. Their loyalty is para the unseen hand of the universe, and that loyalty shields them from deception. Reason 19. They dissolve. Darkness. Darkness cannot hold its form in the waters of Pisces. Just as salt dissolves into the sea, manipulation dissolves in their presence. They are not fighters in the traditional sense, but their very energy dissolves negativity until nothing of it remains. They do not push back with force. They absorb, they transform, and they release. The manipulator ends up holding only emptiness, their schemes undone not by conflict but by the quiet, dissolving power of Piscean energy. To attempt to control them is to throw shadows into the ocean and expect them not to vanish. Reason 20. They belong to the divine. At the core of it all, Pisces cannot be manipulated because they are not bound entirely to this world. Half of them exists here, and the other half belongs para the divine. Their essence is split between the visible and the invisible, between the earthly and the eternal. No human can control what is rooted in the infinite. A manipulator may attempt to command their actions, but their soul answers para something much greater, a rhythm older than time, a truth deeper than the sea. They are vessels of the divine mystery, and because of this, their freedom is untouchable. The journey we have walked together tonight has been long, profound, and filled with revelations. We have traveled through 20 sacred truths, 20 living reasons why Pisces cannot and will not be manipulated. And now, as we arrive at the closing of this path, it is time for reflection, time to let these words sink into your heart and awaken something eternal within you. Pisces is more than a sign, more than a symbol of water, more than a dreamer. Pisces is the final chapter of the Zodiac, the culmination of wisdom, the ocean that remembers all rivers. They embody faith, they embody light, and they remind us that freedom of spirit is the most unshakable power of all. When we speak of Pisces, we are not only speaking para those born under this constellation, we are speaking para the universal energy of compassion, intuition, and divine connection that lives inside each of us. To understand Pisces is to understand that softness is not weakness, that silence can be a fortress, and that empathy itself is a force more powerful than fear. Their story is a mirror para our own journeys. If Pisces can resist the chains of manipulation, then so can we. If Pisces can remain free while walking between two worlds, then we too can rise above the illusions that seek to hold us. Think of the ocean. It bends, it flows, it receives rivers from every direction, but it is never conquered. It is vast, it is endless, and it swallows every attempt at control with patience and grace. Pisces is this ocean, and by witnessing their nature, we are reminded of our own divine essence. No one can bind the soul that belongs para the infinite. No one can silence the voice that speaks para the stars. No one can manipulate the spirit that has already surrendered para the divine. So, take this reflection into your own life. Remember that faith is your shield, that love is your compass, and that your soul, just like the soul of Pisces, is far greater than any shadow that tries to control it. You are light, walking in a world of illusions. You are a mirror reflecting truth, and you are a spirit forever connected para something beyond this earth. That connection makes you free, unshakable, and eternal. And now, as this circle closes, let this truth echo within you. You cannot control the ocean, you cannot hold the wind, and you cannot break the soul that belongs para the divine. Pisces is living proof of that, and through their essence, we are reminded of our own infinite strength. Carry this lesson, let it live in your heart, and walk each day with the certainty that your spirit too is untouchable. If this message has spoken to you, if you have felt the resonance of these truths deep in your soul, I invite you to continue this journey. Explore the other videos on this channel, where light, wisdom, and transformation await. Each one carries its own key, its own reflection, its own path para awakening. Stay with us, and let your spirit continue rising higher and higher.